Hello, welcome to the Met Office 10-day trend. For seemingly the past several months, the 10-day trend has been pretty full on, pretty intense, talking about severe weather and uncertainty, and often a combination of the two. So it's quite nice to take a bit of a breather. That's what the weather's doing for the next week or so, as the forecast is an awful lot simpler. Things turning a lot drier and with lighter winds. There's not much in the way of severe weather expected at all in the next 10 days. Still chilly enough at night for some pockets of frost and fog, but by day, where we see some sunshine in particular, it will be quite mild. Yes, you've guessed it, high pressure is on the way. It's on the way, but it's not quite here just yet. We've still got this weather front slicing the country in two on Wednesday, bringing some quite heavy rain around as well. But it is ebbing away through Wednesday night and Thursday, and then high pressure arrives and sets in through the weekend and well beyond. This area of high pressure, which will calm the weather down, bring a lot of dry weather and light winds for most. Why is this area of high pressure being allowed to move in? Well, because of the position of the jet stream. It is shifting way up to the north. It's been south shifted for quite some time now, but into next week that jet, quite a strong jet as well, will be well to the north and therefore taking all the low pressure systems up across Iceland, allowing that high pressure to sit across the UK and will be on the warmer side of the jet as well. Really quite warm at the moment ahead of this weather front, but where we do have that weather front, as I said, it is still bringing some quite heavy rain over parts of Wales and northwest England. That will eventually fizzle out through Wednesday evening. Ahead of it, though, really quite mild air, but as this weather front slips its way eastwards, the rain will fizzle out as it does so, but it will introduce cooler conditions, at least for a time, and the nights in particular will be a lot colder than recent nights with some pockets of frost around. But by day on Friday, although not as warm as Wednesday, we're still looking at temperatures above average and double digits for most. There is another weather front just lurking up to the northwest, and that is one of the uncertainties, particularly as we go into the weekend. High pressure will dominate, so dry for most, but the position of this weather front is open to some doubt. It may be a little further south, it may be a little further north. Now, it is a weather front bumping up against high pressure, so the rain will be fizzling out. There won't be much wet weather around. It is still going to be largely dry, but it will make quite a difference where that weather front is sitting to the feel of the day. So for some, across parts of Scotland, Northern England, Northern Ireland, it could be a bit of a drab day on Saturday. But the main themes for the weekend, with that high moving in, a lot drier than it has been, mild by day, and some chilly nights still with a touch of frost and maybe also some fog patches too. The other uncertainty into the weekend, as the area of high pressure starts to move out into the North Sea, is these east or southeasterly winds across the south. There's just the chance that could throw up a few showers across parts of the south, more particularly during Sunday, but quite a bit of uncertainty about that as well. The high pressure, though, is set to dominate, and so that's the setup into next week. There is this low out in the Atlantic, but it's quite a way away. These weather fronts at times could threaten some rain across the far north. But generally with this setup, you've got low out to the west, high pressure out to the east. The winds are always going to be coming up from the south, so the generally mild theme is set to continue. And the high pressure, although that low isn't too far away, the high pressure is most likely to dominate next week, as this graph shows. This is the probabilistic pressure trend. We've shown these before on the 10-day trend. The dates going forward across the top there and going backwards here. These are the previous computer model runs. Red means high pressure, and wow, look at that. A lot of red on the chart. A solid signal that high pressure will dominate from Friday right the way through next week. I'm going to show you another graph now, which is the confidence index. We talk a lot about confidence in meteorology. The more confident you are in a forecast, basically the happier you are with the computer performance. And well, this graph is showing an awful lot of confidence. Now, as is usual, the further ahead you get with weather forecasting, you'd expect confidence to be dropping off. And this is shown by this green line here going down through the middle. So the dates now are going forward along the bottom here. And on the y-axis, we've got the confidence up to 1, the highest confidence you can have. As I said, this green line is the average, which drops off the further ahead you get. The red line is the current forecast. This is from the ECMWF, or the European Computer Model, and that confidence is right up at 1 even into the start of next week. Very high confidence, and even though it drops off a little bit, it is always above this average line, and that green shading there is a pretty large area, trust me, showing an awful lot of confidence in the forecast right through next week. So suggesting that that high pressure trend is very confident indeed that means largely dry weather will continue through next week. Not completely dry, there'll always be the threat of weather fronts in the northwest or the possibility of showers here and there. And I'm not promising sunshine for everyone either, because there will be some morning fog patches around. The nights are still long enough for a touch of frost, but where we do see some sunny spells, it will be pretty mild by day because of those southerly winds. And we are, of course, heading into spring next week, meteorologically speaking. For day-to-day detail of where it's misty, where it's foggy, where there could be some frost, you'll have to stay up to date. And the best way to do that is to follow the Met Office on social media.